Alright, so you know who it is. It's the one guy doing the duct tape thing. And for this part, we are going to need... You getting this, camera guy? You getting this? Okay, we're going to need something to cut with. Scissors for just when peeling off the tape and to trim it up real nice and straight. You know, a box cutter and a ruler, they work perfectly. And a ruler actually measure out exactly what you're doing here. Yeah. The colors here, I haven't really counted these out, but I'm pretty sure that with these 5 and the ones we're using from here, we'll have 12 for all the 12 troll colors, which we'll be using for the inside or the white of the wallet. So what we're going to go ahead and do is push these to the side as far as possible without them falling off, and start laying out the duct tape, which is going to be the black first and sticky side up. So just get an approximate little bit over, if your ruler's not, you know, flip it the right way, just about 7 inches or whatever length you want. It doesn't really matter, but just do it a little bit longer since you're going to be trimming this stuff up. Right, and you can just cut that off, just like, well, not really like that. That's not really all that good, but you get the point. That's not really 7 inches at all, but that's a good example, camera guy, if you can get that. Zoom in on that, man. Wow. Actually get out some good measurements here. Oh, that's gonna be perfect. Maybe if scissors weren't so awesome and everything, and actually try cutting stuff, but they think they're just too cool for that, don't they? So go ahead and just cut you out 4 strips, and I'm probably going to cut it here so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me do all this over and over again. Alright, so we figured this crap out, and this piece is ridiculously long, but that's just cool. But what I'm going to do here is, you can see, still, it's 7-ish inches. That's a lot longer than 7, isn't it? But that's cool. That's cool. We can trim it down. But I have taken the duct tape and, if I flip over to the back, just barely overlap them with each other. Straight. Make sure they're straight. It has to be straight. Just barely overlap them with each other so they stick together. And I'm going to show you exactly how I've been doing it, because I'm not selfish and, you know, all that. Okay, this one stick for me. So there goes my scissors. I don't need those anymore, but just make sure you can get it all centered. Make sure that you get all the crinkles out. You don't want no crinkles up in this. Just overlap it a tad bit. Get all the crinkles are back now, but just enough overlapping so that the tape will stick, and just pat it and it'll stay. Untape your fingers and all that. So it's perfect. Now you're going to need to take your white tape. I've already cut out 4 strips of each, and place this over your duct tape. Make sure that, like, it's, you know, even and get all the wrinkles out and all that. Just place it over it. Oops. If something happens, it's pretty self-explanatory how you get duct tape off, but peel it and it sticks to you. It's duct tapes. This is one of the strongest tapes. Seeing adhesive, and it's doing its job pretty too fucking well. Just line it up and stick it on there. Flatten it out, and we'll pull this up later. But for now, we're just gonna leave it sticking to the table. Let's kind of line up the white. A little bit of an overlap, because you want to keep it somewhat even. Let's flatten it out again. And do this 2 more times. But for this one, this is going to be like the middle of your wallet right here. So, like, don't overlap the white. Markers. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. Don't know how this is going to work out through it. Alright, you know what, we're just going to Fill that, and we'll get another piece of black tape. And white tape, for that matter. Alright, so we got all this settled out, and there's some crinkles in it, but we can deal with some crinkles. And I'm just going to overlap this again. Not so perfectly, but this is about as good as a wallet I'm getting today. And make sure you carefully, very, very carefully, I can't express that enough how carefully you must pull this up. And look at the not so wrinkly ring. The black was already wrinkled, I don't know why, but it was so wrinkled already. I guess it like melted or something under the hot Australian sun it was shipped through. Part of the tape started pilling up my table. I don't really care about this piece of crap table anyways. This part, the white, you can just fold it over. If you want part of your wallet to look white on the black side, if you don't want it to mix, just cut it off, like with the ruler or whatever kind of straight edge thing you're using, with the straight edge blade you're using. Okay, so first step priority here is trimming. So take a flat edge of ruler, make it straight with the bottom or whatever of the paper. See, we're cutting that off, so it doesn't really matter if it's big or anything. So just kind of make it the bottom parallel to the bottom of the tape and top parallel to the top of the tape. If you're not that good with your eyes, then just wing it and go over to the right as far as possible, and lots of pressure on both. Make sure you tuck your fingers in. I don't want to get sued or anything. And the tape comes right off like a miracle. And I flip it over because it's easier to do it that way. And if you need to, like, flip it over again, you'll be like, oh, I probably would have cut that the wrong way. That would have been good. No, would it? No, it wouldn't have been good at all. That might stick a little bit. You see that? Uh-oh, I about cut my finger off, and see that? That's what you get for not listening to people. Like I just did. And to cut this, it's gonna stick a little bit, but I'm gonna manage. As you can see, I'm not really gonna manage all that well. Oops, cut into the too much there, and that's not so perfect, but that's still pretty good. See, it folds over well. And this is going to give you a nice way to open your wallet instead of, like, you know, fidgeting with it. Like, god damn, I can't even open this thing and get my money for Taco Bell. But no, trim this a little bit if you want it shorter. It's about, oh, I lost the wallet. It flew out the window or something. But trim it a little bit more if you want to. I think I'll leave mine like this. So, before you do anything else, really, what you need to do is judge if your wallet's going to hold money. I'm flat ass broke. I spent every single penny I had on, yeah, this stuff to make this for. So I'm going to use a receipt. Receipts are just about length of a dollar bill. Just about. They're a bit shorter. I'd say about that, a bit shorter. Yeah, it looks about like a dollar bill. And it looks like it's just going to fit. Totally. Both sides. Make sure both sides are even too. It'd be weird if they weren't that even. Well, of course you want that, but that'd be cool. That's gonna make it really cool. So mirror markers and shit. Like I said, the 12 colors of the Hemo spectrum. You don't really have to do it this way. You can do whatever you want, but the wallet I saw was really awesome and everything. Let me move this out of the way, camera guy. Well, the one I saw was really cool, and the way the guy did it was also really cool. He had 2 of every zodiac sign in the appropriate color and the white inside his wallet. So we're going to pull out all the colors we need. We already have gray. This is going to be our mustard blood, because the mustard blood that was already in the art pack doesn't really work. This is going to be our somewhat purple. Another mustard blood, just in case the other didn't work. Teal. Then we have hot pink. Definitely a hot pink. And I had another purple somewhere. I guess it disappeared. Oh no, that was what this super dark purple was for. Dark blue. Green. There's two types of green. There's dark green, jade, preferably if you have a jade, and then kind of like a mashed pea green. I'd say the kind of pin I have there is maybe the jade, and if not, well, we have these other two that could possibly pass for either jade or mashed peas. Not so blood red, but more of a darker than blood red. And brown. You count this, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm missing some colors here. I'm pretty sure I'll pick up on those in a little bit. And I'll go off screen, off camera, to color these and draw these in, because that's going to take forever and I don't want to take up all you guys' time. So, just a second. Okay, so after taking a well-deserved break while letting these beautiful pieces of art dry for a while, they're still not really all that dry, at least the pen ones. You can tell the difference. The pen ones are the skinny ones and the marker ones are the fatter ones. And there's no resemblance to my drawings and personal character appearance. Of course not. That would never make any sense. Is that funny, camera guy? Anyways, as you can see, we can still fold it over and slightly press on it like we're going to need to do for it to work properly. I probably left a bit too much space up here for so I could actually peel it back a little bit better than I need to. So I'm going to cut off like a really good bit right here, and shift it a little bit. Even though I was all about having the straightest wallet out there, this is going to be kind of a crooked wallet, but I think this is going to be alright right here. And all of the symbols, they don't go over too much, just in case something happens over there. So take your personal, whatever you want to use. Again, there's many colors of duct tape, and they're all about the same price, unless you buy longer pieces of duct tape, which you can buy like many yards, or not so many yards, or lots. I mean, just a lot. There's just so many choices. So just put this over about, I wouldn't say really halfway, more like a third of the way. And yeah, it's not really all that straight, but it's cool. It's cool. And then since this is taped to my desk here now, we're just gonna line this up pretty straight. That's pretty straight. And then just cut it. Cut off that excess tape. Then fold this over, making sure it's going to look right and not stick too much. And now we have one seal on it. And you can, like, if you feel the need to, you can cut this bit off right here so it doesn't hold too much of it together. But that's all up to you. I will later, just off camera, throw your leftover duct tape wherever, or if you want to use it again for something else. I don't know what you'd reuse duct tape for. I mean, unless you're really into some deep shit. I mean, that would be, I don't know, that wouldn't be too surprising coming from people that are watching stuff like this. So, alright, that's good. I'm just going to do the same thing again, although this isn't all that even anymore. So you can just about a third of the way and press it down. Remember, get all them crinkles out, no one likes crinkles. Alright, and I'm actually going to have to peel this one up this time and put it back down so I can properly, we'll just do it upside down just in case, so we don't get desk wood stuff all over the duct tape and just loses all its sticky. And then we have to do everything over again. And that would not be fun. If you're going to give me the ruler so I can cut some more stuff. Just look how easily the stuff cuts. I mean, it could just be that I'm using a box cutter, or it could be that duct tape isn't really all that powerful. Okay, there's a crinkle right there, but maybe some crinkles will make it look cool. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay, so now you see we have our basic outline of the wallet here. Basic outline, basic. This is basically your wallet. This is going to be your wallet, pretty much. And then we're going to add some stuff. Lots of stuff. I mean, lots of stuff. Okay, so next up is pockets. Again, just like anything on this wallet, you can make the pockets any color you want. And I am going to use, not black, background of white. Since my pockets are going to be multicolored, I am going to be using white so I have something a bit easier to color. Coloring black tape. You can try that if you want to. I'm not going to. I would say making these pockets about no more than half of the size of your wallet. No more than half. And you'll need two, obviously. 2 sheets. Or just 2 little strips of duct tape. And depending on how many pockets you want, you can make as many sheets as you want. But this is just going to be a little single sheet. Remember, line up the bottom as well as you can without it sticking to everything it touches. And once it lines up with the bottom pretty well, and removing your fingers from the duct tape, you can make your #1 crinkled pocket kind of thing. It is very crinkled. But if you do like this, you can't see the crinkles no more since the pocket's going like this. You won't be able to notice those crinkles really. So let's trim this guy up just a little bit, because we don't know what kind of length we want this pocket to be yet. We have no idea. Maybe you have an idea, but I don't. That's trimmed. Pretty trimmed. Except for like these parts down here. But that can just be our bottom, where you're going to adhere the pocket to the... And you're actually going to need this to be a little not as wide as your... Well, not as long. It needs to be shorter than this, so it actually makes a pocket, not just a, you know, piece of shit in your way when you're trying to open up your wallet and pull out some cards. So if you don't have any monies on you, when you go to them fast food places, like all those people sitting at their computers doing nothing all day, they can, you know, use their card instead of buying stuff. So I think my wallet was actually about 8 inches, even though I told you guys, and girls, and whatever you are, yeah, it's about 8 inches. I told you about 7, but it doesn't matter. It's your wallet. Do what you want with it. So half of 7 is, you know, like 4.5, whatever, metric, English. It doesn't matter what you use. Just use something. So a little bit less than 4.5, I guess, would do for a pocket. So this is going to be like the pocket, kind of. That is a lot longer than I thought it should be. Just cut it down some more. That is 4.5 now. I know it's 4.5. Oh, the 4.5 would be for 7. Not 7, 9. I don't know why I'm thinking 9 here. All my numbers are getting mixed up. That is much, much better. See that? I don't have a card. I do have a card on me. I have my license. That looks like it'll fit very perfectly well. Actually made that amazingly incredible. Let me throw this down. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be using, well, I didn't say this, but I'm going to be using the kids' colors. I don't know why I have another green. I had a purple for the blonde, and her purple was just kind of one of the weird markers from the art set, but I guess we'll be doing John here first, since blue seems to be the more reasonable option right here. So you can color on whatever you want. I don't really care about this table anymore, so I'm just going to color all over the table. And markers like this usually tend to wipe over themselves and then turn whatever you've like a secondhand drawing over, like you draw a line and you go back over the line. Sometimes it gets rid of what you've colored and turns it white again. So if you feel the need like that, if you feel the need to use paint or just buy blue duct tape, that would be a very expensive but reasonable, alternative to doing this. Or you can just be like me and cheaply color it with markers. Permanent, by the way. This is not coming off this desk anytime soon. So you don't really have to color all of it, because not all of this is going to be showing. Only the little tippy tip top is going to be showing. So that's all I'm going to color, is really the tip top. So I don't have to go through every time, because all the white that it shows over again. And after this dries, if you want to go over it again to make it really, really blue so it doesn't look like crap like mine does, you go ahead and do that. You go look at it, mess it up. You just go ahead and do whatever you want, because this is your wallet. Well, this is my wallet, but yours is going to be different, hopefully. Alright, so you just do that for how many ever pockets you want and whatever color you want. Then I shall show you how to adhere them in there whenever these dry and everything and all. So that's going to be it for just now. Okay, so after going through all of the trouble making all the ones that I needed for the wallet that I was trying to make, which I shall definitely describe which one I'm trying to make. I have all the colors. I taped them. You can't really tell, but I used plastic, just normal, not plastic, but clear tape, so that the ink wouldn't smudge like it did here and up here. It's noticeable, but not really noticeable. Dave's, and it's horrible. It was already horrible in John's. It doesn't matter. So this is going to give us. Move all this crap out of the way. Finally got the pocket issue sorted out. As you can see from here, that's right, the card fits very neatly and perfectly into there. It doesn't stick or anything, which is good. And that's going to be covered up, that part right there. And so will this one. And I'm going to show you how I put this in here. But first, I'll explain to you that an easier way to fix this problem would probably be make your wallet longer and make the pockets longer. Because then you won't have this problem and you won't have to do this. But if you do have this problem, well, this is how to fix it. All you need is just a little bit of tape. And I'd say about half of this will do. Get it in half again. It's not really exactly half, but that's cool. It'll be fine. Box cutter. And apply it to the wrong side of the back on the bottom. I mean, it should be like halfway down, halfway up. And even. It's not that even. That's a lot off from even. But then this stuff peels off so easily. from itself sometimes. It's not over all the way, but that's going to be good enough for what I'm doing right here. And then you can take the rest of the tape. It depends on how long you want it, and it really just depends on where the card's going to fit in. So lay your card down, put your better version, I guess you could say, up here, and align it. As you see, part of it is going to be showing out at the bottom, so you're going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do this again, you might not, but just take and cover up that bottom portion of the tape with more tape. And then just repeat that and just cover up how much ever on there. Already had some more tape peeled out and everything. That's not straight, but you know, it's all the same in the end. It's duct tape. And if you want to go ahead and trim it up, you can, or if you just want to fold them over. It's your wallet, I mean, but the one I'm making, this won't be showing, so it's not really going to be a huge deal. Okay, so just you want to check and make sure everything's going to fit nicely. I'll just do this. I'm going to have to lower this down a little bit more than I want to, but once I do that, it'll fit in perfectly. Yeah. So get you some duct tape. A decent amount with which to adhere pockets with. And line it up as well as you want to. And just tape it down. Trim off and or cut. It's basically the same thing right there. Just cut off any loose ends. Or you can do that beforehand, make all your measuring perfect. If you really want it like that. It's not going to be showing, so I'll just fold it over. And we're going to be taping over this part right here, so I don't need to worry about that. Take out a card now. And what I usually do is I'll take another piece of tape and push it over here so that the card won't start nudging on that and peeling it off every single time I put a card in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The amount of tape you need to use for this, well, I'd say about half the amount you used to make sure the bottom of the pocket was secure. That's actually about the same amount, but in the end, it's going to be okay. Just line it up alright. Put it down, trim off the end. Or if you're smart and beforehand, trim it up before you put it on there. And that's cool. Okay. Now you have your pockets secured for the most part. Now you actually need to make them so they're not just this. To do that, you take more tape. I'm not going to use them. This isn't really going to help me at all. So just take that out. Take a decent amount, I guess. And just cut it off or slice it off, whatever you prefer. And what you're going to do here is taping this down to the side right here. And how much ever tape you want to use for this, again, it depends on how thick you want your wallet or how strong you want your wallet to be. You're gonna have to pick one or the other. Or actually, if it's really strong, it's gonna be really thick, so you have to pick both. Just kind of, I'm going to put mine over the edge of the wallet just a little bit so I have something to fold it over. I don't mean this edge, I mean this edge over here. So I have something to fold it over and extra secure. And then just trim this bottom piece off. Alright, now you have most of your pocket done, but some of the space for your card has now disappeared and it's not really going to fit in there all that well. So to fix that, you should have a little bit of tape up here that you just messed with. And you can peel that off for as much as you need to. And if you're strong enough, you can just rip this off. But if you're not, I'm pretty sure you can use scissors or beforehand measure it out. And now we have all of our pocket right here that we need. And then if you want, it'd be a lot easier to just kind of saw like this. And it's going to look weird, but other than looking weird, it's going to work. And a functioning wallet is a good wallet. Alright, now you can just do the same thing over here. Okay, so I went ahead and put this over here on. Now you're going to need to secure the middle part. So I'm just going to use this strip I have left over on my ruler here. I mean, how does this shit get on here? This is awesome. It's a fucking miracle. Alright, and then tape it down evenly, kind of. At least make sure they're all secure. I'm gonna have to trim the bottom off some. I might save that tape right there for later. Alright, now the same problem again. It's going to, interfere with your cool pockets right here. So a simple way to do this, scissors, and just kind of, if these are going to work. Duct tape wants to be a turtle bitch sometimes, it doesn't want to cut, so I'll just tear it. And once you've torn it a little bit, you can just fold this piece over. That way it's still protecting your pockets, but it's not really interfering with how they function that much. And it's going to slide over a little bit, but that's why the rest of the middle's there, so it won't slide over all the way. Make sure all this is taped down really good too. You don't want all this shit falling apart while you walk around buying Taco Bell or Burger King or whatever you eat. Or if you don't eat, I mean, that's cool too. I kind of feel sorry for you because you won't be living too much longer. And I'm just going to trim this one up. And the same thing over here. Just lightly saw with whatever kind of, is it safe to say weapon? I consider a box cutter a weapon. And just kind of make sure your cards fit in there. Look at that crap. There's some duct tape there. Yeah, that's awesome. That is cool. That is going to work really well. No, but now you have all this white space showing in the bottom, and you don't want that. That's ridiculous, and it's just distracting. So if you want, and if you have enough room, you could possibly add another pocket. I mean, God, how many wallet pockets do you need? But I don't have enough room for another pocket because I was too stupid and made mine short, really, really short. So I don't need these pockets. do need more tape. Let's just go across.